Good morning and welcome to the Connecticut River. This summer's trip is going to attempt to go down the Connecticut River from the Massachusetts border, which is just north of me here, all the way to Long Island Sound. We're going to attempt it and see what happens. I got a long day ahead of me, at least 30 miles of paddling to get to the first legitimate campsite on the Connecticut River. And not sure how much I'll be able to film just because I'm trying to make that distance. So we'll take it as it goes. First quote-unquote dam crossing, not too bad. Paddling under my first major bridge here. I'm not sure which one, but I've been paddling for about an hour and a half and I feel like I'm making good time. I haven't checked obviously my location yet, but I think things have been going well. Stopped for a few minutes on this sandbar here. That's looking north. I haven't been able to show the really nice things, fish darting away from the boat, or cormorants or gulls flying over. Stopped just to look at a map and see how far I've gotten, and it looks like maybe about a third of the way, which means that I'm making pretty good time. The main consideration being rain starting around like 3 or 4. So I think mostly this day is going to be me talking to the camera and not a whole lot of pretty scenery. We get our first shots of Hartford right there. And I'm actually starting to get a little tired. So alright. Here's some shaky footage of me paddling near Hartford. So it basically took me an hour to get through Hartford. And so I stopped and ate a snack, had some water. I think we're gonna push through. So, if that's the case, we better get to it. Cool abandoned boat here. I'm about 8 hours in and I'm getting close. Maybe hour 45 at the most, I'd guess. And I've seen a couple of jet skis and 1 or 2 boats since the last time I filmed anything. Yeah, maybe this will be it until I get to camp. Come on now. That's as good as it's gonna get. So today was about 33 miles and I did it in 9 hours and I almost beat the rain. I had to set up, everything is wet except for my sleeping stuff and my food and that kind of thing, but sorta unpleasant, but honestly couldn't ask for a better trip so far. Good morning. Now that the rain has stopped, I can show you what the campsite looks like. We've got my tent, kayak there. Slept pretty well, given that my sleeping stuff was dry. I've already started packing up to get ready for the second day. This is one of the campsites at River Highland State Park. I think the other one is closer to the water down there. I'm guessing this is the other campsite. This is where I dragged my boat up yesterday in the rain. Getting ready to start day 2. The sun is already very bright, so different sort of challenge today. I think today's total will be about 22 miles. And we're off. I figure it'll be probably another 7 or 8 hour day just because the water seems so much slower. So, back at it again. You can just barely see him, but second bald eagle of the trip right there. Sing for me. Passing under the Aragoni Bridge and Middletown, and I think it's a little more than halfway, but it definitely means I'm more than halfway. This here is Dart Island State Park. First time since north of Hartford that I've had to tow my boat over a sandbar. State Park there, and what time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock, and the sun's pretty bright, so I put on this fancy sun blocker. I think I'm making good time. It's always hard to tell. Got herd. And then I think I'm gonna stop at Haddam Meadows next. This is Haddam Meadows State Park, the boat launch by the water here. I had planned on stopping at Haddam Island, but the going was so slow with the wind and the waves that probably took me about an hour to go a mile. And so I stopped here to refuel and rest a little bit, and the plan now is to kayak down to Seldon Neck, but then I'll be out of food, so pull out in the morning. There's a nice gentleman named Bob who's actually going to refill my water container, and then I'm going to hit the water again. Passing under the East Haddam Highway Bridge, and there's the Goodspeed Opera House. That's a nice sight on the river. There you can see Gillette Castle State Park, and then way down there is where I'm going to camp for the night. And I've made it to camp. So we are on Seldon Neck. Apologies for the speed of things. We are on the Hogback campsite. Got a toilet, a couple of picnic tables, and a heck of a nice view. So now, set up camp, eat the last of my food, and enjoy the evening. I've been drying out my gear from last night. The tide's gone out, so I'm getting these really nice cloud reflections in the low water there. And then I've had a hummingbird feasting there. And then there's some goldfinches that are flitting in and out of that tree there. And then up in this corner there is osprey, and they are swooping down and catching fish out of the river. Not a bad view. Hoping for a good sunset.
this.
Check out this mud. And we're off. Say bye to the campsite. Let's see if I can do two things at one time. I'm back on the river and just south of Hogback, and we're gonna try and get down to Old Saybrook Point and back. Hogback's just around the bend there. This is Seldon Neck. About an hour south of Seldon Neck. You'll just barely be able to make it out, but right next to there is the Saybrook Lighthouse. We will be done with the CT River. Well, you will be. I still gotta paddle all the way back up. This lighthouse is pretty nice, but that's the one I gotta get to be official. There we have it. The current is carrying me past Saybrook Point Lighthouse, and that means that I am done with the Connecticut River. It was one heck of a trip, and unfortunately I had to take that break. I might have been able to make it, but it would have been tough. And now, before I get carried too far, it's time for me to start heading back. I'll see you next time.